just don't know. I don't know. I'm looking, yeah.
Marc Clarke, that's classic. I love it.
Is that delicious beverage?
Duh.
We have today as special guest the CEO, the inventor, creator of Delicious Beverage. And what's so funny, I can't help but notice that that cucumber was looking right. I saw it, Al Rim. Al Rim, the CEO of Delicious Beverage. Al Rim, what is going on, son?
What's happening? My hat looks crooked somehow.
Hey,
No, Al. That's not your hat. That's actually Mark's shirt. That's making you look like that.
Yes,
Don't worry about that.
Crooked. Everything. Yeah, man. Welcome to the show. I got this on. We're talking about hospitality.
That shirt's funky
We're
fresh.
talking about executive travel. We're talking about living a certain life. Gentlemen, now, Bootsy Vegas, we got special energy. This young man, Al Rim, childhood friend, making mud pies in Springfield, Illinois. Big dreams.
Was it real mud? Was it real mud? No, it wasn't that
real
bad.
mud. Because the Midwest.
Bean pie.
Oh, bean pie.
No, I'm being funny.
In the Midwest, we got the best earth because of that corn. But anyway, Al, I was talking to you on the phone the other day. Me and Bootsy have these same long ass conversations like we do, Al.
Yeah.
And I just came up with this. This normally happens at the end when you make a statement, but I'm gonna make it first because I'll forget it if I don't. The power of intentionality.
Ooh.
The power, congregation, of intentionality. Al made a decision to live a certain lifestyle. We'll get into that story. Bootsy made a decision to give back to the community and to live, surviving stage 4 cancer twice. Made a decision. Come on now. I made a decision to follow my dream of media, to marry an amazing wife, to be a great dad. You decide. Don't let life decide. Life is waiting on you.
Ooh.
So true. So true.
As you guys know, I have this $5 million in my bathroom. Over the window, over the mirror says, Marc Clarke has $5 million in his bank account.
Hey, why don't you write me a $1 million check to really cover your bases on that?
Well,
I won't cash it to you.
They have a backup plan for him, Al. They have a backup plan for him.
As Al knows, I had that in there when I had no job. I had that in there when I needed Al to help me pay my phone bill. I had that in there when I talked to Bootsy about starting this thing. I had that in there when I didn't know what I was going to do after my latest TV experience, which I really enjoyed. And it's sitting there today as I have recently signed a 2-year deal with a TV company, a media company. So why would I not believe that $5 million is in Marc Clarke's bank account? Why would I not believe that will be the case? If not soon, it will be the case and more. Why would I not believe it? It was a decision.
It's earning interest.
It's earning interest. And so, Al Rim, you got me thinking about the power of intentionality, because we just got back from an amazing week of trade shows in Chicago and in Vegas. I went with my childhood friend, Delicious Beverage's own CEO, Al Rim. And because I went with him, I caught the wrath of Al at the airport, Bootsy, Because I don't have any of that stuff Al travels with. I got to take my shoes off, take off my drawers, lift up my booty hole. I mean, there's a lot going on. Al was waiting for me because
20
he
minutes.
had, he could go on through. He could waltz past through. When we get to the hotel, I had my own floor because Al is an ambassador in the Marriott system. I don't know how this thing works. I said, dude, we got to do a show. I got to live a better lifestyle. But Al told me this whole journey began when Al, you said as a young exec, as a young person in corporate America, you saw people moving differently. So let's go back to the beginning. For those who don't know, Albert, tell us your background from a standpoint of career, how your background, how you got to where you are, not only in Delicious Beverage, but your other company.
I guess it all started in the school, wanted to be an engineer, partied a little too much, and I ended up in the Navy. So, I mean,
stop. I'm sorry. Before we even get started, Bootsy, because you know how when you know somebody all the way back, Al, share this part because I think a lot of sadly Black boys do this. Al, you kind of hid your smartness. I mean, I knew Al for his gift of escaping with the family car and having girls in the basement. And I didn't know Al was a genius. So Al, tell us about how you felt a little pressure to almost hide your smarts when you were coming up.
I mean, I guess I didn't have the luxury of having a circle of friends that were in the same classrooms with me, the same courses with me. So, I don't know, subconsciously I felt weird about it. So I just wanted to fit in with my team, with my crew on the block. I was in AP classes and they were, I don't know, barely getting by. So
we were going to the A&P. He was in AP classes.
And but it's funny because they would have supported me in any way, and I chose not to. I kind of screwed that up. I should have been counseled better with regards to that. It led me to hide a letter from Princeton and a scholarship to Princeton because I thought Princeton was, I won't use the G word, but I thought it was a little flimsy to go to Princeton, and so.
Smart. Oh wow!
It was a track scholarship. So
close enough.
It was close enough. You still got to have some intelligence.
You just could have ran there from Illinois. That's all.
So I ended up at the University of Houston, but because they had Carl Lewis, this was back in those days, and I was excited about running track with those guys, and I thought Princeton was kind of weak, so which is completely stupid. If I'd have said, Mark, man, you think I should go to Princeton or University of Houston, what would you have said?
Hell yeah, go to Princeton.
Oh, you ain't got no leverage. You don't know.
No, and the thing that's crazy though, Al, is that what's crazy is me, but we didn't even have those kind of conversations back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Al, I would love to know. Hold on,
Al,
before you get into it, how long did it take you to regret or realize not going to Princeton was a bad idea? Did it instantly happen, or it took you a little while to realize that?
Like 20 years.
Oh, okay.
I didn't talk about it for 20 years. No one knew.
He's one of those kind of guys, Boots. He one of them keep it to himself types.
Gotcha. I mean, no one knew. I mean, because I didn't want to be criticized, ridiculed, ostracized.
Like we doing you right now? I got you.
Well,
I got you.
Well deserving. It would have been well deserving.
And Al, you actually walked on at Houston, right?
Yeah, walked on, but and walked off.
Okay.
It's funny because I could have easily been a statistic, right? Back in the old town, dropped out of school, on the corner. Yeah, I used to be a smart guy once. Yeah. That line came out of Glenn Ross. Anyway.
So you end up in the Navy.
Yeah, end up in the Navy, nuclear engineering program. Struggled through that because I wasn't used to not having my freedom. I ran into Marc Clarke while I was on shore duty. He's in a club and called me by a nickname which nobody in South Carolina knew. I turned my head and there he is.
Wow.
Big as all get out. No, I'm just playing. He was in pretty good shape back then. And I was like, hey man, what's going on? He's like, he's interviewing for a gig. And I said, well, good luck. I'll catch you on the back half. So when I get back from patrol, I notified him or caught up to him, and he said he had got the gig and he's got a crib. And we moved in together. It was good times for a couple of years.
And so, Bootsy, how crazy. I'm interviewing for a job. I've known Al since I'm like 8. We grew up in the same neighborhood.
Wow.
I'm interviewing for a job, walking out of club, happened to see him. I hadn't seen him in years.
Wow.
And then we ended up being roommates together.
Roommates.
Wow. So this was destined to happen. This coalition or whatever. So what was your Navy experience like overall? Like, do you think the Navy prepared you or mentally got you prepared for what you want to do? Because I'm sorry, Marcus, I know sometimes people have different perceptions of the Navy and what it is.
And Bootsy, I want to ask that question. I just want to also because he won't do it. So Bootsy, understand the nuclear program in the Navy is one of the most stressful, most intense intellectual programs, period.
It sounds like it too.
People who go through this program is, higher than any other MIT, any type of engineering school. So when you go through the nuclear program, you're a special person anyway. So go ahead, Al.
And what's added to the stress is that you voluntarily signed up, right, to be in the Navy, and you voluntarily made a decision to, whatever, involve yourself with this program because they tempted you with all the glamour and all the prestige of what this program can deliver, not to mention how it can impact your life for, your entire life, just basically putting you in a position for success for your entire life. Not to mention the skill sets and the training were invaluable. So they tempt you with that. Then you get into the program and the first day of school, first day of class, the instructor says, look to your left and look to your right, because neither of those people are going to be here in about 2 months. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the stress begins. And it was pretty intense. And so that program, I think, though, really set the stage for problem solving and creating a little bit of arrogance. I already had mine, but for most people, it created a little bit of arrogance about what they could and couldn't do and what they could achieve. And it gave you a sense of invincibility, right? You are the best of the best and you made it through the program, so you should be able to do anything. And I think I carried that through into other endeavors.
Now, Al, here's the thing, Bootsy, that's also interesting about this Al Rim character. Al is obviously, I don't know, I'm not smart enough, Bootsy, maybe you guys can help me. They talk about a right brain and left brain. So Al, on one hand, is a scientist, a mathematician, a thinker, very linear, but he also is very creative. He's funny. He has another side. So when he never has been able to do it for me, so I guess it's gone forever. Bootsy, when he was under, so the sub guys, when they go under, you're out of touch for months at a time. It's almost like, and they understand that they could die. They could die. So it may probably causes you to go a different place. So during this time, Al sent me some poetry. I didn't know this boy knew how to be I didn't know he was a poet. Bootsy, unbelievable. I'm talking about, how it is. We see a lot, we're musicians. We see a lot of music and poetry and writing. Albert tapped into something I never heard for him, and I begged him to send it to me again. He lost it, whatever. But dude, it's a whole thing. This poetry was amazing. The iambic pentameter, the all of the stuff that makes great poetry.
I don't think I was that smart.
It was brilliant, but it was like weird. Bootsy, he did it, and it was like, he came back on, and he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, and that's what's funny about him. He has two different sides. But anyway, so you do the nuclear thing. You come out, then you go to the University of Illinois for engineering.
University of Illinois engineering. Graduated from there. And then went to Kraft Foods.
Okay, stop right there. Also, because he won't say it himself, Albert is the first African-American to graduate in chemical engineering at University of Illinois?
No, one of the first. Yeah, there was like 6 of us.
It was a whole group of them, but it
Whole group
was
of us.
time because Bootsy, see, people don't know. Al knows, but people don't know in Illinois. The generation before, it was a time when University of Illinois, it was not only hard to get into, you didn't see a lot of brothers rolling through. Now, Al and I at the conference, we ran into a whole bunch of people done come through the door now, but back then, going to University of Illinois itself was special.
Yeah, it was.
And so then, boom, first job, Kraft Foods, and this is where
Let me clarify though.
Oh, clarify, Al.
The group of folks we ran into were all chemists. So I asked them if they had any chemical engineers on their team, and they said no. Oh. So it's back to where they were, unfortunately. So wow. I need to give back, apparently, or make my, presence known in order to influence some of those folks to take that next step into engineering.
So Al, what is that? What is that? Yeah, give us that distinction. Again, I know it doesn't matter, but it does matter, because I used to always call you something. And so when you say chemical engineer, you say chemist, it's different, correct?
Yeah, so the chemical engineer takes all the chemistry courses that a chemist would take. Then he takes all the engineering courses for like thermodynamics, flow, hydro, just all the different energy balances, and in addition to physical chemistry. So basically we understand, they understand the chemistry of flow, and we understand the engineering of how things break. I mean, because that's what engineers do. They want to know how not to break stuff, That's what they hire us for.
And so that's going to be a whole other show. So now, getting into what brought us here, Bootsy. Now, Al at Kraft, this begins the journey of travel and hotels that many don't know about, and a book is coming soon.
Book's coming soon.
Really?
So Al, it was Kraft, and it was Kraft Canada, right?
Yeah, I worked for a division of Kraft Canada, so really kicked off the travel experience. I was in Montreal and Toronto.
Did you get to live there, Al?
Once again?
Did you get to live in Canada?
I technically, no, I wasn't living in Canada, but I had a spot. So,
okay.
Oh, snap.
Because I've heard stories about Toronto, sir. I have been to Toronto, and
yes.
Toronto.
Well, the red light district in Montreal will rival anywhere in the world. So it's I haven't been there in a minute, but
I have.
Oh,
shout out to my good friend Omar Evans, who played cornerback for the Montreal Argonauts. And I went to the Grey Cup, so I do know.
We've got some class. Let me tell you, you guys put the ass in class. Both you guys.
Of course, Mark said that to somebody's wife recently, so there you go.
Hey, keep that down. So Al, this is when I thought about you. I started the show with that quote about intentionality, because when we were together recently, you told me that when you first had that thought of like how were you going to manage your travel and what you wanted to do, it happened around that time, right?
Yeah. So I was trying to be everything to everyone at the time. Didn't understand, so out of Chicago, there's two hubs. There's United for airlines and American. So I would just choose the cheaper flight at the time. And so I was dividing my flight travel between American and United. Then I'd get to Montreal and I'd take the best deal. So I'd be staying at Marriott's. There's a hotel called Intercontinental and the Hilton. So I was staying at those three hotels, and I was, just living my life. Didn't recognize that I was dividing my perks amongst too many organizations. And you have to focus your points in order to achieve the goals that are required to live the executive travel life.
The executive travel life, y'all. We live that executive travel life.
You got to focus. And so I made a decision to focus on American Airlines, focus on the Marriott, and then I haven't looked back since. So I'm lifetime membership award member for those programs now, and it's and Mark can tell you they treat me quite nicely, and I think it's so. What happened was, and Mark, I'm not sure if you were actually with me or it was the time after that you experienced the penthouse floor in the Bahamas. But so I was staying in the Marriott in the Bahamas. We were doing something, and and we were in the elevator, and some guests came on the elevator and they had a key just like we had a key, but then they stuck it into a slot and hit another button that my key didn't have access to. So later on, I asked the waitress that was serving us very well, and she told me that, oh, they were staying on the penthouse floor. You have to have special access. So I asked her, can you get us access? Right. So she gets us a key. We go up there and it's a whole different world. And so from then on, I made a decision that I want to know what they know. I want to be where they be. Wow. I want to find out what's going on in the front of the plane, not the back of the plane, because it's a whole different world. It's a whole different group of folks up there. And believe it or not, deals are being made, invites are being dealt. And in the back of the plane, you're not getting those perks. You're not getting the perks in the lobby bar. You're getting the perks in the upstairs executive lounge. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I set out to strive to become more travel savvy.
And it's crazy because, you know, I think you said, Al, what you described is how I think most of us move as far as get the best deal. You know, I sign up for all the points, but don't really use them. I'm looking for the price. And I guess it's like some people say, well, if you don't travel a lot, you don't travel enough to make it worth it. But I think what really just made me think about it was it's like everything in life, right? It's almost like, you know, if this is a part of your experience, if this is part of your world, why not maximize it? Because Bootsy, you traveled Earth, Wind, and Fire. You're familiar, but Al said to me, and I thought it was interesting, he said a lot of times celebrities, people who travel all the time, because they either have someone else booking for them or, again, they're not thinking about it, but the reality is they could be enjoying the fruits of it, but they just don't do it. They don't even know it exists. So Bootsy, you had mentioned it to me that you are familiar because you said you had to book some stuff and different things like that. So Bootsy, what is that with the celebrity piece? Is it they're so far away from it? Because Al, you mentioned that too before. You've seen celebrities and they don't even know about most of these floors.
I'm on the elevator with Chris Rock, and I used the key to get up to a part of the hotel he had no idea about.
So Bootsy, you experienced that with the celebrities?
Yeah, well, I experienced it as well as the fact where the principals roll in one type of situation, they're kind of ushered in and stuff like that. But what happened was with me was I noticed that at some points, if we were all traveling on one day, we would all go to one location. But if we were traveling multiple days, some would go here, some would go there, and then everybody else would go to the executive team, and it was always different. But it was always perks of when we got there was a welcome package, there was, different perks or whatever. But I noticed that they were not privy to it. Like my job was to go get the keys, get the access, get everybody in, and I started noticing how stuff was working as well. I never really dabbled into it because I had so many other requirements as being the media contact person. But the more that I traveled, I started realizing that, like another example I know is that even with airlines, they didn't have to check in all the time. I could actually check in for them. And I did not know that a lot of these perks were available when you have all this access or when you've been doing it for so long. So I had learned that as well. But as going back to both of your points is the average person do not have no idea because they're not really putting stock in it. And when you're traveling day after day after day, and it's looking like the same room, you're not really thinking about it. You're not thinking about how you can save or the access it gives you to as well, which I learned as well. So
I in corporate America and in my current role am allowed to stay in the Marriotts no matter what the program travel rule is, because I've proven to my bosses and whomever that my, let's say $200 a night room is superior to their $130 a night room at whatever hotel, because I'm going to get a 5-star breakfast. I'm going to get a suite of rooms, right? I'm going to get access to whatever it is. And the equivalent of that $70 far exceeds what, and, if you're traveling me to death, you need to make me happy. That's one thing that I think people need to push back on. If their company is traveling them to death, they need to, show some love with regards to what type of perks they're getting. Accommodations, right. Yeah.
The accommodations. Al, I would love to ask this. So how can the average everyday person get to these perks? Because, this is such insightful information, but as you probably know, people who travel that do not have access or have an understanding. How would the average person who does travel maybe 6, 7, 8 times a year, how can they learn what is accessible to them?
First thing they should do is get a credit card for an airline or a credit card for a hotel. That's a shortcut
process. Just in general, is that a hard process? Is there some type of financial commitment that has to come with those?
Well, sometimes it's a hard process because folks' credit ain't right. So it's if your credit's right, you can qualify for a travel card, a Marriott card, or whatever it is. Then that's a shortcut to perks in some ways. So then it sort of catapults you into the gold. So there's silver, gold, platinum, executive platinum, whatever the ranges are. And so titanium, ambassador. Sorry. So
oh, we were Bootsy. We were at the trade show. A hater rolled up, right? And so at the trade show,
a hater. Okay.
A hater.
I don't know how to describe him. He was just a
hater. That's how we describe him, because we're very few people of color at these trade shows with these booths. We had this amazing booth. I mean, Al and his lovely wife, a delicious beverage, amazing booth, television included. So we balling with the stand, so it's impressive. And, you don't see a lot of us there. He rolled up. He was one of those people, I'm going to call him Mr. What You Need to Do. What you need to do this, you need to do that. What you need to do this, what you need to do that.
Name.
You know what I'm saying? What you need to do. And the part that cracked me up was he was flossing like, he's Mr. Important. And he had the nerve to brag about him being, I'm titanium. I'm staying right over there. And I'm titanium in blah, 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 blah. Now, Albert is
titanium is legit. Titanium is legit.
But ambassador is above it.
Yeah.
And so Bootsy, being that can be messy at times, and Al's face had already given the face of F this guy, I didn't understand why he didn't kill him when he said he was titanium. Why he didn't kill him with, yeah, I know, because I'm an ambassador. But he humbled up, Bootsy. He didn't say nothing. He just let the dude just, what you need to do this, hey, blah, blah, blah. He was a hater. Dude was a hater. But anyway, I just thought that was funny.
But you smacked him down with it. With it.
Because you know me, Bootsy, I'm going to advocate for my people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Al's ambassador. Yeah.
And then, I didn't want to get into, he might have been lying. So, you know what I'm saying? Because he got real quiet, because at the end of the day, most people don't travel in those circles. And I know all the ins and outs about being titanium and what you can and can't do, what you can achieve and can't. And he said he was staying at a certain hotel. I had just looked up what the rate was on that hotel. So I was like, oh, so you're paying $579 a night. He was like, So that kind of told me he might be lying about that.
Oh, you didn't tell me that part.
So it's right there.
Now, and the thing is, Bootsy, I know like some people may say, well, y'all having this conversation, but I'm not into that. Back to what we talk about. You make a decision. Look, Al ain't always had great credit. I ain't never had great credit. What I'm saying is, why not start today? Some people, I don't have a credit card. Well, let's get one.
Yeah.
Let's get a credit card. Let's start thinking about, next time you travel, to put these things in your consciousness. Yeah. If you're not there right now, some people say, oh, that's not important to me. I just want to get A to B. I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with going for it or experiencing it, or that whole trip. I thought about it. When I traveled with Al, and Al, he blessed me on one of the trips. He gave me let me have the first class joint just to experience it. Because again, I would say, you know what, this isn't important to me. But what I thought about, Bootsy, was, it would be nice to have the family travel a certain way. It would be nice to, experience it. Now, it's not what life's all about, but why not? Why not? Why it's like treating yourself to a nice steak or whatever you enjoy. Why not?
And so I put you in a suite too.
And then the suite, Al gave me a suite. First of all, Bootsy, it starts off with the gator chairs. What the gator skin chairs? That was
wow.
It started out. And here's the thing that Al did that talk about again. And this is the part about friendship. This is about people who influence you or that you love. So Al and his wife, I was spoiled because I've been traveling. We're going, we're staying. We're going here. We're going then. And so one night I thought I was going to my room, but I was actually sharing a room with Al and his wife because he couldn't, they didn't have anything. So he got me this suite, Bootsy. Him and his wife stayed at the lesser spot, and he gave me the suite. Why? Because he wanted me to experience it. He wanted to put that in my head. He wanted to say, he's known me my whole life through ups and downs. And like I said, he's helped me pay bills. So he let me experience it because he said, I want Mark to feel this because he deserves it.
Right.
It's how he's supposed to be living anyway.
That's how you're supposed to be living.
He didn't say, all right, man, you take this hotel. Me and my wife, we're going to move to go to the suite because it's nicer. He's like, nah, go ahead. And I said, you know what? I mean, that's why I love this dude, because that was just putting something in my head. Because a lot of times when we're going through our ups and downs, we start getting lost, right? And we start just like people, you almost accept, like when somebody's watching this and says, well, I don't have good credit, so I don't have a credit card. Well, work on getting good credit. Don't give up.
That's a decision. That right there, that's how they separate us from a different lifestyle, is this credit thing. And I think people have a fear of their credit that it's never going to be right. So people that have this fear, the first thing they need to do is just pull their credit report. Just pull the credit report. It's free, whatever, and take a look at it. See what's on there. See what it is that's holding you back, and try to understand the rules of paying your credit card, and that the utilization rate on your credit cards is tremendously important. You got to get it under 30%, and your credit score will start to increase instantaneously. And, and so if you've got some old aged out stuff on there, you can choose to try to what's the word? Have it removed or dispute it. Or you can just call them up, work out a settlement for it. It's 5 years old anyway. They're like, oh, we've been trying to get you for however many months. And you say, you know what? I'll pay you $200 if you just, and for whatever reason, these days, they're wiping it off the credit report. They're settling and wiping it off. And they become so sophisticated that you can do everything online now. You go in, go to, now I'm going to tell on myself here, portfoliorecovery.com. People with bad credit know they be calling the portfolio recovery. You see it on the caller ID, something's wrong. And so you can go to, they give you a code, you go in, you check to see what what report it is. They done bought something from someone and they got you. And so it's on your credit report. And you can go in there and it tells you the full amount, it's that $1,000, or you can settle for this amount right now, or you can pay the $1,000 off in 3 months. And you can sign, look at all the promissory note. You can do everything online, or you can choose to speak to a person. Now, we hate to talk to these people, right? But you don't have to. So they've become real sophisticated in this whole thing. And the only reason I know that, because 3 years ago or 4 years ago, decided to fix the credit. And it's freaking amazing what the difference is in the credit cards that they offer you, the balances that are available, and the homes you can qualify for based on that. And so it's a life-changing experience. I would even go as far as to say we was faking the funk with the resources that we had just based on our mediocre credit. But good credit is a completely different world, just like riding in coach is a different world from first class.
And again, our show today is about, again, changing your mindset. It's not necessarily people, why y'all talking about this? No, I mean, it's just really like, again, just like Al showed me that suite, it puts it on your mind. It's a portfoliorecovery.com.
Yeah, but on your credit report, it'll show who's bought your bad credit up, right?
Okay.
And they're one of the big offenders.
Yeah. So again, we're talking about a lot of things now, but at the end of the day, I wanted to get Al on.
It's all related. Good credit, getting credit cards that have travel perks, and being able to travel. And that's a shortcut to travel if you don't travel. That was the original question. How can I start experiencing some of these things? Another thing is the negotiation at the front desk, right? So, Mark, you were there.
Oh, I'll be arrogant, Boosie. He be arrogant. It scares me. I'm from Springfield, Illinois, where they taught us Negroes how to be humble and be nice. And when I'll be coming to the front desk, he be coming with a swagger. What you got for me? What you got?
So you can negotiate, Al?
What you got? Yeah, anybody can negotiate, right? So they reserve all the upgrades and the suites for the people with perks. But if you're checking in, it's 10 p.m., all the people with perks already got their spots. You can still boldly ask, are there any upgrades available for a humble person like me? And they could be like, they'll first look at your status, right? They gonna clown you, and then they'll dig deep. They'll make sure that they've got everybody else squared away. But you too, Mr. Unstatus, with no perks, can get upgraded to higher level rooms. And even before you get your perks, you can ask for a concierge level or the concierge lounge, right? And they can say, well, you only get access to the concierge lounge if you're staying on the concierge floor or if you have perks. But you can say, is there a way I can pay for the concierge lounge? And 9 times out of 10, they'll just hook you up. You know what I'm saying? So you can start to enjoy the concierge lounge, which has free drinks or discounted drinks, pour your own drinks. So even if you got to pay for the $7 drink, you can make it a $20 drink in your glass.
Man, I love what you think, Al.
Free breakfasts. And so you got to just negotiation at the front desk. Mr. No Perk rolls up to the front desk. They're like, okay, we got you in a twin size, whatever, right? On the third floor, behind the broom closet. And he's like, well, are there any rooms with better views than this? Well, let's see. Oh, well, we can get you in a corner room. And he's like, does this room have access to the concierge lounge? They'll look at your status, recognize, who is this guy? First of all, when the book comes out, you'll know all the lingo, right? So you'll know the lingo. And then, so they'll be like, no, so I'm sorry, you don't have access to the concierge lounge. It's like, well, is there any way I can pay to be up there? They're like, no, I'm sorry, you just have to have status. I was like, maybe they'll hook you up, maybe they won't. But you got to start asking these questions. So when I was negotiating the suite for Mark, he's like, sir, I'm sorry, the only suite we have available is right next to the elevator. I looked at Mark, it's like, Mark, would that be okay? Right next to the elevator. But he knows that some people with titanium and ambassador status are assholes, right? They travel a lot. They expect everything in the world. And if they were hearing the chime of the elevator all night, that's going to reflect bad on them. So he asked me, which was a good move. The problem was, before I checked in, he should have already upgraded me to the suite. You know what I'm saying? You don't see ambassadors every day. So when you see one that's about to check into your hotel, you hook them up immediately.
Act
Look
like
out
you
for
know.
this.
I'm
Look
an
out for
ambassador.
cookout.
Huh?
Look
Yeah,
out for
exactly.
cookout.
That's why I had that swag, because why am I asking for the suite? Put me in the suite, bruh. Put me in the suite. Say, oh, I got something special for you tonight, Mr. Rembert. You know, hook me up. But he did hook up. That was like a triple upgrade. That wasn't a normal suite. So yeah,
Well, you know, and Bootsy, the funny part, what I think is funny when I'm rolling with Al, is how people, boy, when you black in America, but they still don't want to believe it. Me and Al did an Amtrak trip.
oh man.
And I mean, who knew Amtrak has a whole little hookup thing too? So we go to the joint. Was it Chicago? I forgot where we were. New York.
New York.
And the brother was trying to hate on he was acting like we weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, I'll show you. You know, this is the business class lounge. Yeah. Are you supposed? Why are you in here then?
So what are some of the lingos that an average person like me, who may be possibly traveling?
See, first of all, you're way above average. Nobody's an average person. You are special.
Special every day.
I like to be humble about this.
That's what this show is about. Everybody is special.
Including you with that Father's Day shirt you got on. That shirt says Father's Day, Hawaiian Father's Day shirt vibes.
This show, let me tell you why I wore this shirt.
Oh, please.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell it, Al Rim. This is why I'm wearing this shirt, because whoever's watching this show today, who's ever watching this show today, wherever you are in the world, remember what I said, because everybody's very familiar with Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett had a song called Margaritaville and a lifestyle. Margaritaville, his restaurants and bars. Jimmy Buffett wears shirts similar to this, and now they're breaking ground on Margaritaville retirement communities. So everybody who's watching this show, I wore this shirt because have no doubt that delicious beverage, the delicious brand, will do the same. There's going to be delicious beverage restaurants and bars, and who knows, a delicious beverage retirement community for people like us. So when you see this, you're going to be like, I remember Mark had that ugly ass shirt on, and CEO Al Rim was on, and Bootsy asked him, and he said this, and I'll be damned if I don't see these damn delicious brands everywhere. So remember this day. Let me
switch to my delicious beverage hat. What was I thinking?
I know. I don't know. Brand ambassador.
Hey, what type of ambassador are you? Come on, man. Come on. Yeah.
And so this show, obviously, Bootsy, as it always, turns into something different. But it's like, let me just say that Al doesn't even know this part. So Bootsy, Al is in Atlanta now, in this amazing neighborhood, right? And here's something I laugh at myself, because your friends can influence you in a good way, and they can influence you in a bad way, right? So Al, who's got this beautiful new home in Atlanta, and had to get 1 million trees taken down, and you're adding a tennis court and all this kind of stuff. And so your friends having these kind of ideas and these thoughts. So then you start looking around. A lot of times you have things that you own, but you don't even look at them in a special way.
Landscaping.
You know what I mean? Same thing with your body. Manscaping. You know what I mean? Like we have some people don't have, right? And they desire. Some people have, but don't take full advantage of what they have. It could be your lovely kids. It could be your lovely wife. It could be time spent with elders in your life. It could be amazing friends that you never get caught up with. It could be your house where the backyard doesn't look bad, and your wife looks at you every time and looks at you like, damn it, I wish my husband would get on top of this, but he doesn't, Mark. It could, you know what I mean? But that's the beauty of, again, when you're in these circles. And so Al's going through that with these amazing neighbors he has. And Al, it hit me. I was talking to my oldest just minutes ago. First of all, 21 years old, talking to her about credit and the importance of credit. So look at this crazy tied into this. But it's the same thing, Al, when I'm looking at your journey with your new neighbors, about like life. Like what we're talking about, some people say, oh, well, who cares about, luxury travel, executive travel?
Mhm.
Well, who cares about having a great yard? Who cares about having a great house? Who cares about looking good? Back to what we first started talking about was, I'm really understanding, y'all, that it is a decision. It's a decision. Like, now that I'm doing television, it's a decision. Like when I go out, I'm more conscious of what I wear now. Why? Well, because my brand is I'm the guy on television.
Okay,
I was
question. Were you conscious of that shirt this morning or no?
Yeah, because this is the kind of shirt people who ain't got nothing to do and chill on their yacht wear.
Oh.
That's true.
This is the kind of shirt that people who, I'm saying, people ain't really worried about nothing but the comfort of their life, right? And so the other day, I was in an event last night. Allison was hosting. No, I'm sorry. I was in Bethesda at a bar restaurant, sitting there, just chilling. And this white lady said, "Oh, I'm sorry." She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I recognize you." Right? And I was thinking, like, these are little subtle things.
Yeah, because she was like, Al Roker, I love you so much, Al Roker.
And some people think I'm Al Roker, right? But I was thinking to myself,
DMV Al Roker.
I'm just glad that I was presentable. I was glad that I had on my fly glasses. I was glad I had on, I just had on something. I look like I belonged. I look like somebody, right? Right. Like as Al knows, I look like money. And I just had Al pay my phone bill because there's going to come a time when those kind of conversations won't happen. But it's like, it's a decision. I guess I'm saying all that to say, from your quality of life, what you're thinking about, what you're dreaming about. And like Al said, what you don't want to do is get into the mindset of lack and limitation.
Wow.
Lack and limitation.
Wow. Why
not be in an abundant, the mindset of abundance and not looking at what you have right now? Oh, because that happens. I know that when you get caught up and you ain't paid this bill, you ain't paid that bill, you feel overwhelmed. You don't have any answers. So you'd be like, oh, I ain't thinking no damn traveling first class. I'm just trying to pay this phone bill. I'm just trying to pay this. No, get out of that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of that mind. You got to deal with reality. Okay, you take care of reality, but you go back, you start thinking about, because again, as y'all been on the journey, I was in the car when I got the call. I was in the basement doing this show with no job. I start June 27th.
I told you to follow up. I was like, no. Don't wait another day. Find out what them dudes is doing. I said, man. I was like, because you're an important, popular figure, and you could have other job offers out there. They can't afford to wait. I was like, just hit them up. And sure enough, they closed them hours later, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so this whole show is just about possibilities. Because again, we started on 16th Street. No, 21. We started on East Jackson Street in Springfield, Illinois. And I have, I've been with Al when he closed on. How about your first house going to be $1 million house? How about your first house going to be $1 million house? Me and Al grew up in a neighborhood. My mama's house with a tree sitting on it right now, $30,000. That's what it's worth. Al's former house, probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
Albert's first house is $1 million house. Come on now. Don't tell me about what can't happen. Al was hiding the fact that he was a genius. Hiding the fact.
And he was so much of a genius, he turned down Princeton.
Genius every day.
Now Al's neighbors are millionaires.
Yeah. The circles. And
that's what I'm going to say, Al. What I'm realizing is, everybody posts your what do they say? Your net worth is your network is your net worth, right? But there's another step to that, though. You can be, Albert pointed this out the other day. Oh, you can live around millionaires. You can know millionaires. But do you have access to millionaires?
Mm.
Are they willing to, do they believe in you?
That's a fact.
I'm not saying much, Al. I'm not saying too much, Al. I'm just saying, do your millionaire friend look at you and say, I got you?
Do you believe in me, Mark?
I believe in you.
Okay, great. Go ahead. I just want to make
I'm
sure.
shouting out my man Ron, my silent. Well, I ain't gonna say. I have a silent partner.
Okay.
Who's
Well, you're my loud partner, Mark.
Who supports me. It's one thing to support you, but when you throw them dollars at you, and say, I got you. I believe in you. And so your net worth is your network, but your network has to believe in you. And they have to financially support you in your dreams. So, but what I'm learning though is, so some of us have people on our network who, it's a weird relationship. Like, you've been with them forever, but they ain't really did nothing for you though. And they might be using you. And when I say using you, not using you in a, dastardly way, I'm just saying you may have something that they need, but they don't ever really support what you need. And those are real questions you have to ask yourself with your network. Then some of us don't have no network. Some of us have a terrible network. Like, if your network, if you are a dreamer, if you're an idea person, if you got great excitement about something, and your network, including your family, kills your dreams every time, you need to cut that loose.
You got to ask for a better network. You got to ask the universe. You got to ask God for a better network. You got to ask for what you want. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Write it down. Make that part of your goals. Writing down these goals. I'm looking at my goals right now. They're all over my little desktop here. I want to be able to see them and repeat them, talk about them, think about them constantly all day long, because this thing is real, man. You got to put it out there in the universe and things start to miraculously happen. We made a decision to move to Atlanta. We tried to remotely look for cribs, and the competition was so intense that doing it from California was next to impossible. So we decided to just move out to Georgia without a house. We're going to live in an Airbnb until we find a house, which sounds insane. And when I was booking the Airbnb, I was like, how long do I think I'm going to be here? So I was like, we're booking this thing for 45 days. We will be in a home before this Airbnb runs out. And we closed on the 45th day.
Won't he or she or they do it?
Won't he, she, he, or they do it?
Or all of them.
And
now,
right,
we was gonna have to get a 2-day extension, right? Because the owners of the crib was like, oh, we need to clean, we need to blah blah blah. So then we got back to them and said, man, we're gonna have to extend our Airbnb unless we can move in. Oh, I didn't realize blah blah blah, and boom, it just all worked out, and we literally got to move out of the one spot and move into the new spot. And so it was like overnight, there's people in this home, right? Black folks in the home when white folks were there yesterday. So that was nice.
Wow. Well, and I think that's why all of us, we all have to shout it from the mountaintops or do the show. And kind of, because I think when you've experienced it many times, it's easy. I mean, it's like we got to get people fired up, because I think some people are so down. Some people are so spiraled down into their negativity, they don't even know it. I remember my mom. I saw her job break her. I saw my mom be broken, and I saw it affect her. And I think the blessing for me was, and that sometimes happens when somebody's on a journey and you're witnessing it, it then inspires you. So one journey I had was I was never going to do a job that I hated. So that's what got me on to following my passion, right? Because I saw my mom. I saw her break from she fly to come pick me up at work to wearing knit outfits and she was down. And so somebody watching this is in that space. And I'm going to just say, starting now, start dreaming again. Start dreaming again, because again, you have to, well, I guess our theme is you have to decide to live the life that you desire. You deserve it. Everybody, that's the thing. That's one thing I hate when people be like, what do they say? When they basically say God chose you, they say what do people say? I'm anointed. We all are. You ain't more special than me. You are too. You got it. You just don't know you got it. And I do.
Yeah. and the whole vibratory energy that you give off, that law of attraction thing, when you're in that negative space, you keep attracting that same negative outcomes, right?
Yep.
And so that's why when people start to make it, when people start to enjoy these type of lifestyles, when people start to get the gigs and start to be successful, they're vibrating at a level of success, and they continue to attract similar types of things, and things seem to get easier and easier and easier. And so that I think that's reason why some people continue to attract those negative things, continue to be poor, because they're attracting those things. They've got to break out of that thing. And one exercise I found in this book I was reading, it said, write down what type of salary you'd like to make in the next year. And people, when they do this exercise, they'll realize the limitations of their own brain, right? They'll realize that they'll continue to, they'll put themselves in a position of, based on information I have right now, my current resources, my current job, blah, 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 the best I could hope for is a 5% increase. And they'll write that down. No. The question is, what type of salary or job or crib or car do you want within 1 year? Write it down. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. The universe will find a way.
It's not logical. Right. That's the part that is funny, because I think a part of me is, I definitely have a logical side, and it's not logical, man. Mm-hmm. It's not logical. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Look at Steph Curry. Look at Steph Curry. Now, some of y'all, I'm older than you guys, but coming out of college, you would have bet $1 billion. There's no way. You said this kid is going to be a Steve Kerr-like shooter, a great shooter, but he's small. He won't really, he'll be cool. He ain't going to be as good as his daddy, but he can shoot the lights out. Steph Curry, he changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
When you go watch kids, they're trying to be like Steph Curry.
Right.
He wasn't trying to be LeBron James. He wasn't trying to be Michael.
Guess what else Steph Curry do, though? And guess what else? Steph Curry make people who do not normally watch basketball, he make them want to watch basketball. Because he is the little guy. You don't necessarily know how he do it. He's not jumping out of the gym. It's something that he has that make people who do not normally watch basketball connect with him as well.
Well, and also his style of play is what? You've seen it. We all seen it now. When he closes his eyes, it's faith. He don't say, I hope, I wonder, I know it's going in. I know it's going in. And here's the beauty of it. Even that game when he had a horrendous night, they asked him, what is he going to do about it? Keep shooting.
Keep shooting.
That's what life is. I don't care. You lost your job. You got evicted. You're homeless. You got to keep shooting.
Right.
You got to keep shooting. I was just in an event last night, and I was just thinking about it. It's tied to helping homeless people. And one of the gentlemen, again, former military, protected 2 presidents, super articulate, just a powerful, crazy presence. He was homeless at one point. You know what I'm saying? He was homeless at one point. Seeing him, you look at this guy, and he's a motivator of men. You saw it, just meeting him, shaking his hand. But he was homeless at one point. So there was a time when the outward appearance did not look like that.
Right.
But he kept shooting, though.
Right.
And that's what we all have to do. And that's why we're going to shoot for. Yeah, I never really messed with being first class. Yes, first class. I want first class. You know what I'm saying?
I mess with it.
And let's go. And Al Rim, thank you. But you didn't have to do that.
Hey, what's your typical response when I say, where you at on the plane? Where you see that? Oh, I'm in the back. Don't worry about it. I'm in the back. Hell no. I brought your ass up to the front.
Because you're not Rosa Parks.
I'm tired of being in the back.
Because you're not Rosa Parks, Mark.
We tired of sitting in the back of the plane, huh? Wait a minute. Okay, that wasn't the plane? Okay.
Right. Literally, from the back of the plane to the front of the plane, off boarding, I could already be in my rental car and on my way to the hotel, and in the lobby, having a cocktail before you get off the damn plane. And people don't talk about that.
That's
it was
true.
only $45 for a flight. We'll spend $145 and get up front.
So Al Rim, as we wrap things up, and thank you for the insight.
Yes, sir.
Give us some, give us an update on Delicious Beverage and a parting word for the show.
Delicious Beverage, like you said, we did, 3 trade shows and 5 weeks. It was tremendous. And, back and forth, Vegas, Chicago, very exciting to let people taste the product, experience the energy of Delicious Beverage and family. I think that our competitors haven't really innovated in a while. They're sort of resting on their laurels, the big boys, and to come across a company that has an amazing product from out of nowhere, really, and just wondering where can they buy it? How can we do this? And we're changing the game, and we're doing it one family restaurant at a time, one customer at a time, and we're just the $1 million deal is sitting here on my desk somewhere, right? And I've got a card. What does it say? Close a multi-million-dollar deal by July 1st. So let me get on the show July 5th or whatever day, just so I can confirm what that deal was and how it happened.
And I can borrow some money from you.
Got to do it.
And I can borrow some money from you because that's what my rich circle of friends Mark was talking about does. So I want access to that $1 million deal you got.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things you can't be afraid to ask. And
don't worry, I won't.
You have to boldly ask. But then the question in response to that is, what do you need it for? And so, and those things. And then one of my parting words is, I was a serial entrepreneur, a lot of great ideas. I had a lot of great jobs because of my background. I'd work and save up $20,000 or $30,000 and then quit my job and pursue, because I was under the impression you got to be able to jump all in. You got to jump off the cliff. You got to, you got to go all in, got to burn the bridge, or else it's not gonna work. And the lesson I learned after 30 years of that failing is that you have to have resources to support your dream. And so don't quit your day job, live your dream, work those extra hours in the background, work those extra hours at night, do what you got to do, fund the dream yourself if you have to. And then when your dream starts to explode, that's when you leave the job. So those are my parting words.
Gentlemen, I know you guys are both fathers. Have a great Father's Day weekend. I want to thank everybody who's watched in real time and watching in another time. We appreciate you. If you're not subscribed to the channel on YouTube, Reinventing Marc Clarke, please do so and follow us. And again, Delicious Beverage LBC on Instagram. Also, as you can see, deliciousbeverage.com. Use the code MARC2020, get 20% off. And
I did have some news. So people that have been on the site before and have purchased the product at some absorbent rates, usury rates, we did do a price decrease, a price reduction. So if you go in there, you'll see that our prices we're trying to level out the pricing, because at some point you'll see the product on the shelf and it'll be at a similar price. So we had to make those price changes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right, gentlemen, have a great weekend. That's a great way to start it. If you're traveling, you got some great information. We'll wrap it up with our Delicious Beverage commercial. Bootsy Vegas, anything you need to say?
Congratulations to all my students who are graduating tomorrow. I got 3 graduations I'm going to tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And to everybody who has kids that are graduating, congratulations to you guys.
And shout out to Juneteenth. Allison and I, babe, where are we going? We're going to Berryville, Virginia to host an event tomorrow.
Oh, I love Berryville. You're going to love it out there.
Or as Bootsy calls it, Burryville. We'll be there tomorrow.
B-U-R-R-Y, Burry.
And also shout out to the Father's Day run on Sunday in Baltimore. I was supposed to co-host with Faraji, but I might make it back just in time to do the 5K. And again, shout out to all the dads out there alive and who've gone on.
Yep.
Also, shout out to the deadbeat dads. Shout out to y'all. One day One day you'll get it together. It's okay. It's okay. One day you'll get it together. And then shout out to the amazing dads. I'm sure you guys are all in that category. So we'll wrap things up with this delicious beverage commercial, one of our favorites, and we'll see you soon.
Is that delicious beverage?
Duh.
Can see my eyes just don't